Hey, cat folks, do you ever feel a little empty after you give your pet a treat and then they just turn their back on you to enjoy it in private? Well, that is not the experience you'll get from Delectables Squeeze-Ups. These treats are the first gourmet cat treat where feeding is interactive. You get to squeeze out the puree while your cat chows down. Sammy eats everything, so it's great that it comes in a bunch of flavors. Chicken, tuna, chicken and veggies, lots for him to try out. Treat them the best with Delectables Squeeze-Ups. Find Delectables online at Chewy, Amazon, or shop at your local Walmart and other stores that sell cat treats. Cats. Huh? Cats. All right, let's do the show.
Lock the gate!
All right, let's do this. How are you, what the fuckers? What the fuck buddies? What the fucksters? What's happening? I'm Marc Maron. This is my podcast. This is it. How's it going? On today's show, Jackson Browne. I talked to Jackson Browne. This is yet another Rock and Roll Hall of Fame member to be on the show this year. We've had quite a few already. Rolling Stone listed him as one of the greatest songwriters of all time. He's got a new album coming out this summer, and I got the opportunity. It's been on the books for a while. We did do it on Zoom. But Jackson Browne has been around a long time. He's seen a lot. He's been through a lot. No matter what you think of your music, his life is actually a little more incredible, I think, than... Look, the music is great. Jackson Browne is Jackson Browne. I love some Jackson Browne songs. That first Jackson Browne record was, an amazing record. But I was also sort of curious about the Velvet Underground Nico connection. Why did Nico and how did Nico do the first version of These Days and he played on it? How did that happen? How does Jackson Browne end up on Nico's first record? What the fuck is that about? Well, so I had some questions. I had some sort of specific questions, LA scene questions, and it turned out to be a pretty great conversation. I've always heard he's a great guy. I don't know what I was expecting, but people I trust and know in music and in life love the guy. And the reason is because he's one of the guys, man. And, and he's seen it all. And there's apparently some stuff, obviously, after I talked to him, my buddy Flanagan gets in touch with me, and he's like, did you ask him about the Hendrix thing? I'm like, no, man. No, I didn't. I didn't know. I can't do everything. And the people, when I mentioned that I'm going to talk to people, I've already talked to them. So I couldn't, doesn't matter. There's plenty here. So Jackson Browne is on the show, which is exciting. Quick cat update. I think I told you that Buster and Sammy are really getting used to each other. So used to each other, in fact, that I'm starting to think that I'm the third wheel. I don't know if you know that feeling, but it's true. But there's something that always gives me the upper hand when it comes to attention, and that's the power of giving treats. As long as I'm here to dole out food and treats, they're always going to throw some love my way. That's the way it works with pets. And that's the great thing about Delectable Squeeze-Ups. They can actually strengthen your bond with your cat because you're in charge of squeezing that tube to give them some of that pureed treat they love. Now, Buster, he'll excitedly eat like 3 bites or so and then move on. Sammy's a scarfer, and he'll wolf down the whole thing. He's little, but he's an eater. And that's another good reason to be in control of the Delectables. Different cats like different amounts, so you can give them each a different squeeze. Delectables come in a variety of flavors, and there are even packs especially made for senior cats, so you can feed your pet the treats they deserve. Treat them the best with Delectables Squeeze-Ups. Find Delectables online at Chewy, Amazon, or shop at your local Walmart and other stores that sell cat treats. All right? Cats. But Sammy's relentless. Fucking relentless. Does not take no, will not fucking, well, it's a cat. He's a cat. But what an aggressive little fucker. I think he's going to be a stout little mother, too. A stout little dude. He's not going to be lanky. He's going to have that, that kind of almost a bulldoggy kind of cat thing. It looks like Fonda was like that. It's a little muscle. Just a little muscle man. But I'm having a good time. There's literally 1,000 cat toys all over my house. And now for the rest of my life, I will find them under things, squeezed into things, in between things, some places that you never really thought a cat toy could get to. I lost the top of a Liberty drinking bottle that I know Buster was playing with weeks ago. And in my aggravation, I went and ordered like 3 or 4 bottles and an extra top. And then like 2 days ago, out of nowhere, and my house has been cleaned several times since, he's playing with the top. I don't know where he was hiding it. I don't know what happened to it, but now it's back. But I like the bottles. So it's not terrible, but I do this spite-driven purchases too. It's crazy, man. I get mad at myself and I buy. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to breathe, man. I'm just trying to breathe. I'm just trying to exist. Oh, my God. I talked to you guys about that painting, the Lynn Shelton painting, and, figuring out that it probably wasn't the Lynn Shelton that I knew and loved. It was this other guy. Well, if you're following the story, I'll just bring you up to speed. I set my IG crew on a research project, and some of them found a piece of art from 1965 in an auction, an abstract painting by Lynn Shelton from 1965. And then some others found this Carl Spreaker furniture, some of which was painted by a painter named Lynn Shelton. New York Times article. He referred to him as he was an engineer. He went to engineering school and then did this interesting abstract work on paper, large pieces, painted on paper and then enameled onto furniture. There was just a passing bit of information that he was a teacher of some kind in California, but there's just all the leads die out. So I've got this piece by this Lynn Shelton, and somebody found it up for auction, some of the furniture that he had done the painting on. It does look a bit like the painting. And, but Carl Spreaker, who has passed away, the furniture maker, designer, he still has, a shop, or there's the Carl Spreaker collection that they keep making or something, a gallery. But I reached out to them to ask them if they had any information about this Lynn Shelton that used to paint on paper that was put on to some of Carl Springer's furniture and enameled on there. A guy got back to me immediately and called me. He said, yes, they did that collaboration years ago. He said that he doesn't know what happened to that guy. The last he heard, maybe it was in the 90s, from him or about him, but he's just kind of the Lynn Shelton that probably did the painting I have and definitely did that work on the Carl Spreaker furniture. Is just gone. Alive, dead, don't know. Relatives, don't know. So we just hit a dead end. So until family members or somebody who knew him, I have no idea who Lynn Shelton, the painter, was, who collaborated with Carl Spreaker and most likely did the abstract that is on paper that is hanging in my bedroom right now in 1983. I have no information. It's kind of odd, given the internet and given the fact that he did some stuff. But that's where that goes. I've pursued it as far as I can, and that's where we're at with that. I do guess I can tell you this. I can. I went to a screener of Respect, the Aretha Franklin biopic that I'm in, not knowing anything about the movie, just knowing my experience in being in it. And it was a small screening room. Brought my friend Kit, my manager, and his wife were there, and some other lady whose son works at the production company or something. And we watched the movie, and it's a big movie, and everybody's pretty great in it. It's Forrest Whitaker and Jennifer Hudson and Marlon Wayans, Marc Maron, and some other people, and Marc Maron. And Marc Maron's in it with Jennifer Hudson. Marc Maron and Jennifer Hudson are in it. Forrest Whitaker. I don't want to. There's a lot of great people in it. This isn't a plug for the movie yet. I'm sure that will happen. But I was impressed with the movie. It looked great. She sounded great. I did pretty good. I thought I was good. All the stuff that I shot is really in the movie except for like one line. It's like 4 or 5 scenes. And it really takes on Aretha Franklin's entire life up until like 72, until she goes back and records that gospel record. And Lisa Eltami did a great job. The movie looks great. And it's quite an undertaking. And I'm excited for it to come out. I'm excited for you to see it. And I just thank God that I liked it. Does that make sense to you? Does it? It's great to be involved with something that you can honestly say is great. I'll tell you more about it during the sanctioned period of promotion. But that was my experience with it the other day. WTF is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. May was Mental Health Awareness Month, and continuing throughout June, this show is proud to join the cause of destigmatizing therapy. I'm always upfront with you about how important it is to talk about things with others, especially if you can talk to a professional. And nowadays, you have so many more options. You can do virtual visits. You can have live chat sessions. You can speak on the phone. And BetterHelp can make all of those possible for you. BetterHelp counselors are ready to help you out if you're anxious or depressed or having trouble in any area of your life. Just log on to BetterHelp to get your needs assessed, and they'll match you with your own licensed professional so you can start communicating in under 48 hours. It's also easy and free to change counselors if you need to. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. WTF listeners get 10% off their first month of online therapy at betterhelp.com/WTF. That's betterhelp.com/WTF. Jackson Browne is here, as I mentioned, and I didn't know what to expect, and I wasn't expecting a lot necessarily. You know, I know about as much about Jackson Browne as anyone does. You know the songs. You know that there's some darkness there, but you don't. I didn't know what to expect. And as I said before, so many people I know love the guy, and it was actually great talking to him and just kind of letting his brain skip around in the history of music, modern music that he was involved with and the people he knew. It was just a fun talk. I don't know if I've got the details that you want, but I had a good time talking to him. So this is me talking to Jackson Browne. His new album, Downhill from Everywhere, comes out on July 23rd. Are you at your studio that I played at once?
Yeah. I'm actually in the room next door to where you played.
That place is great, man.
It is. It is. Thank you. And we're having the best time. This place runs so well. All kinds of great people coming through here. Ben Montent's mixing his album next door right now with Jonathan Wilson. And it sounds really great.
But how long have you had that place down there? Where was it? It's in Venice? Is it in Venice or Santa Monica or Long Beach?
It's in Santa Monica. And I've had it about 30 years.
30 years?
30, yeah. 30.
And do you just rent it out, or how's it work?
Well,
I mean, has it been?
No, I own it. I own the building, but I used to rent it. The landlord was so cool. He just said, he came in after about a year and said, "Oh my God, you've made all these leasehold improvements. You don't even own the place." And I said, "Well, we had no choice. We have to have the studio the way we built it. We built it out.
Yeah.
It had been a machine shop." He was really cool. Then he stopped charging us increase of living, on the rent and stuff. And so, yeah, we've been here for a long time.
But do you when in terms of people recording there, is that something that do they pay for studio time? Is that a source of income?
Yeah. If they have the money, they do. A lot of my friends have recorded here without paying, because not everybody's got a budget, or they don't have. They need to spend it on the players or something. I mean,
yeah,
it's not booked all the time,
Yeah.
So my best friends know that it's dark part of the time, so that's the time they want. That time I'm not going to sell. Yeah.
I like the new record, by the way, and I think that that Downhill from Everywhere, that title track, that's got a little edge to it there, Jackson. It's got a little punch to it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Who's that guitar player? Who's making that dirty noise?
That's Greg Leese. Well, there's two guitar players on that track. Well, there's three, but you don't count me. I'm like I'm playing the really simple stuff underneath. But that's Greg Leese and Val McCallum. They're in my band, but they're also extremely in demand all over the place. I mean, yeah, that evolved out of another song, and I wanted to sort of turn the corner, and be something that was really fun to listen to without having to listen to, if you know what I mean.
But there's a menacing message to it, right? Under there?
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about the ocean, but maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, but it sounds like